602 and 1-866-6775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Chris Bissonnette is in the house. He is with the Society for Financial Awareness. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be back.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Celebrating, I don't know about this one. Melanoma Monday. I don't like that one. That was what got my mother, so I'm not a fan of melanoma of any sort. Star Wars Day. There's a lot of people that think that there is some sort of a Star Wars cloud over us right now. Orange Juice Day. Okay. Candy Orange Peel Day. Not a whole lot of excitement in any of those. Chocolate Custard Day was yesterday, so maybe we'll have to turn back the clock. I'm thinking that maybe we should change this and not even have this 2020. Can we take a mulligan on 2020? Do you think that's a possibility? What's that?
I said start over, reset.
Yeah, reset on that one for sure. Holy cow. Let's take a look at the markets right now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 185 points. Not good. S&P 500 down 7.91. NASDAQ, that's up 52.86 right now. That's a surprise, watching the NASDAQ moving in a different direction than what we're seeing from the other markets. When you see the NASDAQ up 53 and the Dow down 187, that's a little bit odd. But, something.
I think part of it,
Ron, in a very, very odd environment right now, so it does become kind of difficult to watch what's going on. But, hey, we will continue watching that. Let's take a look. Being that we are not going very far, although being in the home loan industry, being in the news media, we are part of the essential class. I don't know about you. Are you essential? But we are part of that essential class. So we can look at it and we can see that the national average on a gallon of gasoline, $1.78.4. And we can look at $1.37. That is the cheapest gas in the land, $1.30. So I'm trying to find where that $1.37 they're the ones with that cheap. That's where all of the cheap gas is, with the exception of Illinois. That's the only part of the middle part of the country that does not have the real cheap gas. They're on the higher end. But if you look at it, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, they're all these states right down the middle. They've all got the cheap gas. Do we want to look at Calizuela? Yeah, Calizuela, we're at about 90, almost $1 a gallon more than the national average, $2.74.5. Hawaii obviously is the leader there, but they don't produce any gas. When gas prices are a little bit higher, that's when Calizuela really gets to taking it in the chin because we like taxes, right? So we get to enjoy all those extra tax dollars and spending all that money, sending it to Sacramento so that they can send it to China. Yeah, that's where they're sending our tax dollars. I did notice that they bought a bunch of masks from China. They could have bought them cheaper in downtown Los Angeles, but I wonder why the governor is taking your tax dollars and mine and sending them to China. What has he got going on in China? What is he doing over there? I just throw that out there for you to consider. Why is he doing this? Why is he paying extra money? Does he think that he's going to be able to take over from the feds? Do you think that if the masks come in here, that he's going to get a special? Well, I guess the special deal is that he pays more money than anybody else. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. President. We will go back to that. But, that's what our governor likes.
You're fired.
Yeah, where did that one come?
You're fired.
Can somebody please get that message off to the governor of Calizuela? Right, it would be nice to get somebody in here who understands what's going on, who understands where we are feeling. Not a big fan of the protests. Don't mind them as long as they are civil. But here's the thing is Ventura County, you can go to the beach, but in Orange County, you cannot go to the beach. I wonder what the difference is. Could it be Ventura County voted for Governor Gruesome and Orange County did not? Do you think that might be part of the answer? Hate to think that that's true, but it would not surprise me. But, we just watch. I did notice that did you see the president last night did the town hall meeting? A lot of news came out of that town hall meeting last night. And I love the idea that way it was presented, where there were people that were on video presenting their own questions from around the country. Love that idea. And I found it fascinating. A teacher, I think she was from the Midwest somewhere, retired teacher, came out there and said, Mr. President, I am a big supporter of yours, but why is it that you have to be so rough on the reporters in these in the press conferences? President, and I think a lot of us feel the same way. It gets a little uncomfortable. President had a great answer. He said, nobody ever has been treated like he has been treated, which is, I believe that's completely true. I don't think that anybody has been treated as harshly. He did make a comment that I guess at the end, you'd have to say, and they did the town hall in front of the Lincoln Memorial, and they made the comment that, well, maybe President Lincoln was treated a little bit rougher than President Trump. And we know exactly how that ended for President Lincoln. So we don't want to go there at all. But I think President Lincoln, and President Trump said that Lincoln was treated poorly. So we throw that out there. A lot of news came from the conference. President does believe that there will be a vaccine by year's end. Vows the plague will pass. Here's the question that I would have, Mr. President, and again, I'm a supporter of what the president is doing, so I'll give that caveat out front. Many times we see that the president comes out with these comments, and they're both ways. They are both informative, and they might be somewhat an attempt to be uplifting. Right? The president comes out there and says he believes there will be a vaccine by year's end. Well, with American ingenuity, I would not ever put anything past the great scientists, the great minds of the United States of America. Does it mean the president knows something the rest of us do not know? Yeah, I don't know. But is it a hopeful comment? If it is, I think it's great because we need some hope right now. I've shared with you just raw statistics. I'm not getting into any of the theories here. But this week, Friday, we're going to come out with a jobs number. I've told you last week that I think that the unemployment rate will be 17.1%. And I know that's not what the market says, but from some of the numbers that we've worked with our crack team, 17.1%. You look at that and you say, okay, we went from 3.5% before this pandemic to 17.1%. History shows every 1% increase in the unemployment rate accounts for 10,000 suicides in the United States of America. 10,000 suicides. Why? And if you listen and look, you can understand it. People are despondent. I had a friend of mine, I did a podcast with him last week. He said he's sure that somebody tried to step out in front of his car. He was able to stop in time. People don't have money coming in. They don't know how they're going to feed their family. They don't know how they're going to pay the rent, get a roof over their head. People are worried. The longer this goes on, the more worrisome it becomes. Like I've said before, I'm blessed. I've had some savings. I followed some of the guidance of what I share. I know Chris is going to talk about this as well. Having that emergency fund, right? So if something like this were to happen, and neither one of us could ever predict it, we don't know what the future brings, but having 6 to 12 months of liquidity available, if the market goes down, you don't care because it's in cash and U.S. currency, right? You don't want our market to go down. We never do. But if we have that liquidity, we have a peace of mind. But here's the issue is a lot of people are starting to say, something I can't handle, social isolation. I've got a son, special needs son, love him to death, right? He doesn't like the idea of being cooped up in the house all the time. He's got vulnerabilities, so he's not able to go out. He's not supposed to go out. Personal responsibility. We don't take him out. Even though he could probably go walking, we take him out early morning hours when it's safe for him. That's our definition of personal responsibility, right? So you've got to take that personal responsibility as we watch the government saying we can start opening up. I know not in Calizuela, but a lot of states are starting to open up and go back to restaurants and go back to, I know Chris is going to talk about his hairstylist. Well, maybe not his hairstylist, right? But the idea here is we've got to take some personal responsibility. Go to a stylist that has a mask on, that is doing the protective items that we're being told by the people that we pay to be specialists in these areas. We're going to talk more about this. We've got a lot to cover with you today. Chris Bissonnette is in the house. We're going to talk about financial awareness. Now, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about financial awareness because last month was Financial Awareness Month, but we're going to talk about it this month. We're going to talk about the homeownership rate rises to the highest point in 8 years. Situations where you need a financial advisor most. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. You just need to make the phone call. 800-306-1990. Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 193 points. The S&P 500, that one's down 10.38. NASDAQ down 38.49. I'm sorry, the NASDAQ is up 38.49. I better get that straight. Let's look at what the mortgage-backed securities are doing today. It's generally 10-year Treasuries down 2 basis points to 0.623. Unbelievable how low that yield is right now. The bonds, though, the mortgage-backed securities are down. The bond itself down 6 basis points, which means interest rates are a little bit higher this morning. We're talking about 6 basis points on the bond itself. It doesn't have a huge effect on mortgage rates. So we don't have to worry too much about that, but I still will go in and I'll give you a little bit of background on what's going on. Why is this happening? Well, part of it has to do with maybe the party's over a little bit. The Federal Reserve has been doing a great job of managing this. Once we got a hold of them and told them, hey, stop buying so many mortgage bonds. Well, last week they were averaging about $8 billion a day. This week they're going to go down to about $5 billion a day. So we're watching that very, very closely. Quiet news day today, but busy week when on the news side. Wednesday, we're going to get the ADP employment report. Estimates calling for 20 million job losses on Friday. I guess my board here. There we go. Ow! On Friday, we're going to get the more important BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics jobs report. Estimates for a loss again of another, for the BLS report, 21 million. Another 3 million we're looking at for this week come out on Thursday. Household survey also be very interesting. They do 2 different reports on Friday. They do the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the household survey. Both come out this week on Friday. Very significantly, the 2 different reports. One of them is done on modeling, the BLS report. Household survey, they call a lot of households to see what they're seeing, what's happening in those households. So that's just a couple of different reports. Again, the Fed buying $6 billion today in the mortgage-backed securities. Lighter than the last few weeks, but still an enormous amount of money. For perspective, During the highest point in the quantitative easing, the Fed was buying $40 billion per month. And think about that. We're going to probably do that this week, or we'll do 30 billion this week. And that's down. We would be buying 132 billion this month if we continued on the same pace of this reduced base of 6 billion a day. So this a lot of money being thrown at this economy. I like the idea that we're hearing from so many people that, or so many government officials, hey, this is not the fault of any business that went and did things the wrong way. So it's not the business's issue. We need the federal. We need the government. This is where the government really needs to get in and do some helping. So that's the idea. That's the Mortgage Minute. That's brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. Again, ronismylender.com is the site where you can find us. Pretty simple. I like simple. But today we get to chat this morning. Chris Bissonnette is with us, Society for Financial Awareness. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Glad to have you. We haven't seen each other in a while. Chris comes on a regular basis, maybe an irregular basis, sharing a lot of financial awareness information. And Chris, in the opening segment, I was talking about the importance of having a emergency fund. Talk a little bit about that, if you would.
Yes, that was good. As financial planners, I think the thought there is you're supposed to have 6 to 12 months of income, which nobody has except maybe, very few people. So I sometimes tell people minimum 2 months. You should have 2 months of income just to cover your bills. But again, the majority of Americans do not have that. I think it's something like 70% of Americans can't even survive like a major car repair. So I know that this COVID-19 situation we're in is creating a lot of damage for a lot of people right now.
Yeah, it's a shame to watch what's happening, and some of the statistics that I shared earlier. With the people that just get hurt from this, it's enough to really scare you. Nobody wants to talk about the two sides of what's going on. And you're the financial awareness guru, right? So you've got this information about what's happening to people. Are you getting calls from people that watch your information, the information that you're sharing, and talking about their fear right now?
Yes, I think the big thing that I am seeing, because I do a lot of speaking on financial literacy, which obviously has gotten way worse for people. People were already not, financially illiterate prior to this. And then having this plague or this disaster hit them has just put everyone's finances in haywire. So the big thing I get from people is they don't know what programs are available. They don't know really how to apply for them. And some clients still haven't received monies or haven't gotten either the disaster relief grant or loan, as well as their payroll protection program. So I think right now the unfortunate part too is the government was kind of making this up kind of as it went and was kind of changing. And so there's just a lot of uncertainty if people are going to be getting money or if they're not. So that's where I see a lot of problems.
A lot of fear right there. I mean, obviously nobody could have predicted. I mean, how does anybody in their right mind ever predict that, you're going to have a once in a century event like this? Especially something that appears that it could have been controlled. And the government is trying to roll things out. I mean, you're right, Chris, about how quickly they're doing about how the challenges have been in these programs. But, when you try and roll out a program in a week that's going to be dealing with trillions of dollars, I shouldn't say 8 trillion, trillions of dollars, it becomes one of those issues that, how do people deal with that? The government, you can't write a computer program with that quickly to handle millions of applications. I think I saw a report today that the SBA has handled more loan applications in the last 2 weeks than they've done in the history of the SBA. I might be off on that stat, but it's radical numbers.
That's pretty high. Well, I'm working with U.S. Bank to do my PPP. And again, the guy just said the same thing. Like, our volume is just through the roof and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, at least, I appreciate the United States saying, hey, we're going to give you the stimulus first, right? Here, if you have family, you're going to get $1,200 plus the kids, at least to help out people with maybe middle to lower income. And then we have all these loan programs available so you don't have to lay off your employees. You can cover your rent. And a lot of organizations are allowing you to forbear, right? Or at least kind of push off some of your bills. So for your listeners, I would definitely suggest that if you have any major, bills, mortgage, car loans, etc., student loans, you should be reaching out to them, explaining your situation. And I think they're all going to work with you. I haven't heard anyone that's come back and said, no, they said no. I haven't heard it yet, at least on the major bills. But you have to look at how is that going to affect you later? Does it get added on at the end? Does it get added on right when this is over? Or do they don't add it on? So that's another thing to look at.
Yeah, and a lot of the programs that are government programs, those are pretty much fixed as to how they're going to deal with that. But I do want to talk with Chris a little bit. We're going to chat about the risk reward of the mortgage forbearance, because that's a big, big issue that we need to talk about. We're going to chat about that when we come back with Chris Bissonnette, Society for Financial Awareness. We're going to also chat with Chris a little bit about real estate. Your U.S. home ownership rates rise, the highest point in 8 years. 7 situations where you need a financial advisor. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. you still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564, SLT Home Digest 79564. Find out exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, what the market believes about your property, and like most of the tools that we provide you from Ron Siegel Radio, it is free to you. So let's take a look at this. U.S. home ownership rate rises to the highest level in 8 years. You got to love that one because people are still out there. I know that we're worried about this right now, but people are still out there buying houses. I know that we're hearing a lot in the news that you can't go out, you can't look at a house. Only the serious people are looking at houses right now. And I don't say people are not serious at other times, but right now people are a little bit scared of what's going on in the marketplace. So if there is somebody that's out there looking at a house, if there's somebody listing a house, they've got a specific reason why they're doing it right now. So we've been looking at this report for you. I'm going to share some charts with you as we go through this report a little bit. Nearly 2 months, most of us have been following strict stay-at-home orders from our state and local governments. It is a whole new way of life that has put our daily lives on pause. On the other hand, many of us have also found a sense of comfort by slowing down, spending time at home, highlighting the feeling of security that comes with having a much-needed safe place for our families to live. The latest results from the Housing Vacancy Survey, HVS, provided by the U.S. Census Bureau, shows how Americans place immense value in home ownership and is continuing to grow in the United States. Let me see if I can get this chart to show back up here and see if I can get it to work. I'm not sure it'll let me, but I'm going to try. Sometimes technology is grand, especially when there we go. I think it's worked. So the results indicate that home ownership rate increased to 65.3% for the first quarter of 2020, a number that has been rising since 2016, is the highest we've seen in 8 years. Again, you've got the graph if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or any of our social channels. Why is the rate increasing? The National Association of Home Builders explained strong owner household formation with around 2.7 million homeowners added in the first quarter, driven up the home ownership rate, especially under the decreasing mortgage interest rates and strong home sales and existing home sales in the first 2 months before the pandemic. National Association of Home Builders also emphasizes the year-over-year increase in each generation group. We always like to watch that one as well. Let's see if I can get that chart to show up for you also. NAHB, the home ownership rate among all age groups increased in the first quarter of 2020. Households under 35, mostly first-time homebuyers, registered the largest gains with the home ownership rate. Did that chart show up? Did we get a new chart on there? I'm hoping it'll. Yeah, I think I did. We got the new one popped up there for you. Households ages 35 to 44 experienced a 1.2 percentage points gain, followed by 55 to 64 age group, a 0.9 percentage point increase. The 45 to 54 age group, a 0.8 percentage gain, and the 65 plus age group up by 0.2 percentage points. Again, that chart is showing on there. Homeownership is an important part of the American dream, especially in moments like this, when many are feeling incredibly grateful for the home they have to shelter in place with their families. COVID-19 may be slowing our lives down, but it is showing us the emotional value of home ownership too. If you're thinking about buying a home this year, let's connect to talk about your game plan. Now, here's the point that I want to get to with this one. I want you to understand this real clearly, because I'm not trying to preach. The idea is these numbers are from the first quarter. We know that the pandemic, the shutdown, basically occurred middle of March. So that is part of that first quarter. So the numbers are going to be skewed to pre-pandemic numbers, but it does go to the point of why I believe, why I've been telling you our economy was really, really strong until we made a temporary decision to shut it. When that decision is revoked, do I think we're going to go right back to the exact place where we were before? Probably not. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get there. But I think it's showing that there is some significant strength in our economy. And when we do open it back up, the buildup is going to be much quicker than many people are thinking. And we're going to get to a stronger world. So that is our real-time real estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Chatting this morning, Chris Bissonnette is in the house. He's with the Society for Financial Wellness and before Financial Awareness. And before the break, we were chatting a little bit, and I want to give you a little bit of history, a little bit of background here, because I deal with the lender side from a firsthand perspective. Chris deals with a lot of financial planning and does a lot of speaking engagements. He is a speaker with a national bureau, a nonprofit bureau of speakers. And we got some guidance at the end of last week about where the market is standing on forbearance from Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. We knew what FHFA, USDA, and VA were doing with forbearance. But remember a key component of forbearance and lending. Key component is lenders have to be on board. Wells Fargo's pretty much got out of the business of lending right now. They've closed down their HELOC department. They've closed down their jumbo loan department. Chase has tightened up on a lot of the programs that they're offering. The big banks are watching. They want to see what's going on. If you are having financial troubles, and I'm only talking to people with financial troubles, there are a lot of programs that we're going to talk to Chris about. But if you are trying to use this as a strategic advantage, I promise you it's going to come back to bite you in the behind. Right? Because if you're going out there and trying to get a forbearance and you don't really need one, it's going to show up on your credit report. They're not going to give you a ding on your credit report for a missed payment. But where they normally would say the payment was made, it's just going to have a zero there that's going to say, okay, no payment was made, but you're not 30 days late. Lenders are going to put an overlay in there saying, well, if Mr. and Mrs. Jones can't make their payment, we don't want to give them a new loan. And with interest rates at historic lows and going down even lower, you might be 12 months, 24 months until you can get a new loan if you make a strategic decision not to make a mortgage payment. Be careful of that. But Chris, what I want to chat with you about is the other side of that coin, is the people that really do have a hardship and they don't want to lose their home. Give us a couple of points of what you're chatting with from a financial guidance standpoint with the Society for Financial Awareness. What should people be doing?
Yeah. So, what I was told back when this all hit like 5 weeks ago is the first thing you should do is go to the Small Business Association, SBA.gov, and apply for this disaster relief grant of $10,000. It's EIDL, I believe. That was the first thing I was told through the Irvine Chamber of Commerce and through other groups. And I did that. And I applied 5 weeks ago, and I got something about a week ago saying that they're working on it. So that was, to me, like the no-brainer first thing people should do, because it's supposed to be a grant, which is a like forgivable loan of 10 grand. And then people should also apply for the PPP program, the Payroll Protection Program, which allows you to cover payroll as well as other expenses such as rent, if you work out of your home, your mortgage. And it does work for people that are sole proprietors as well, because a sole proprietor, you have your payroll yourself. So both those programs, I know that some people have received the money, at least on the PPP program. but I haven't talked to a lot of people who've got the 10 grand as far as the grants. And I will tell you, most of the people I talked to, they really weren't clear on what to do. It wasn't like it was laid out real simple, because the government kind of was making some of this up as it went. And then the other problem one is, after they release a program like the disaster relief program, the next day they change the process. So it goes from complicated tax returns, all this stuff, to no, just submit something simple and you add your bank account. So hopefully people receive the money. Obviously, we want to see the economy do well. And I just saw today J. Crew file for bankruptcy. I've seen some restaurants that are filing for bankruptcy, small ones. And, obviously we all want to make through this, this big problem that we're all going through together, and have all our businesses survive.
Yeah, that's a big issue. Now, one of the things I did know that they changed in the modification of the program on the EIDL, the EIDL program, was that you have to certify a hardship. So if you don't have, again, if you're trying to do these things from a strategic standpoint, and a lot of businesses get caught up, Chris, in the unintended consequences of programs like this, right? So Harvard went and got their grant for millions and millions of dollars when they've got
like $9
billion. So, I'm sorry?
They got $9 million, even though they have like $50 billion in their endowment, which is more than half the countries on the planet.
Right. So, when they came out and said, okay, well, you've got to certify a hardship. Well, now they end up giving the money back. So if you're not, be aware that you're going to have on that EIDL, the $10,000 program, that's going to require certification. It's not a matter of what they've been looking at again. And this comes from a friend of mine that used to work at the SBA, retired the day before some of these programs came out, was basically that you can file for a quick processing of the loan or the grants or whatever it is. And then there's going to be some follow-up paperwork that's going to have to come again. Probably when the chamber gave you that information, they were giving you information that was really, really front end, leading edge information.
And it was like the first day. It was like the first day it came out, so I was on it.
Right, and you've got a 900-page bill that has a lot of things that are going to have to be adjusted. So it becomes a major work to try and figure that out, and all the changes that come about. And a lot of people ended up filing those things right on like you did. And then they come out and they say, okay, well, now it's a different application. Because you remember the bill came out, and then they weren't accepting applications until Friday of that same week. And it was chaotic. But when you're trying to bring out something that's going to affect 166 million people in the country, and millions of small businesses and small business owners, it's a real challenge to come out with that quickly. But student loans, Chris, how are we dealing with student loans? Because I know you deal a lot with college finances.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first things they did. Is they said that they were going to go ahead and just not, get rid of the interest, at least for now, on student loans. And again, you can call your student loan and ask them if you can defer the payments as well. But that was one of the first things they did. Because there's a lot of people, student loans, I think it goes mortgage debt and then student loans and then credit card debt in the United States. So there's a lot of people who carry very large student loans.
And a lot of those are owned by the federal government, so they have complete control over that. So, but again, it doesn't have the student loans. I think actually does happen automatically. I know my son got a notice on his that he had to do nothing, that they were deferred for I think 3 months or something like that. If he wanted to continue making payments, it would go right to principal. If he didn't make payments, that would be no problem there. But we're going to talk more with Chris Bissonnette about some of these different programs, about how maybe a little sanity during this time, and get his take on the economy, where the economy is going, what's going to happen after we reopen. We're going to also talk just a little bit about when should you be talking to a financial advisor. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. The replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Situations when you need a financial advisor most, that is the subject of the Your Credit Matters segment today, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Do you know enough about financial management to take care of all of your investing on your own, or do you need help from a seasoned expert? That question comes up for millions of Americans every year. If any of these describe you, you could benefit from professional financial advice. Number one, you're retiring soon. Number two, managing your own investments. Number three, you have children. You inherited money. You have a financial advisor. You're getting a divorce. You want to build wealth. All of those are times when you may want to consult a financial advisor. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm just saying that a financial advisor works on your finances. They're studying all the time. Probably studying more about this than you are, so it might be a wise idea to be dealing with your finances and getting some professional guidance. That I don't do financial planning. I did it a couple of decades ago, but I understand that a financial advisor, in my opinion, again, just my opinion, Financial advisors cost you nothing because the guidance that they provide is going to give you more benefit than the investment. It's called a return on investments. You invest money in a financial advisor with the anticipation that you're going to get guidance that's going to return more to you than if you were just trying to do this on your own. That's your Credit Matters segment. Again, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. Chris Bissonnette is in the house. He is with the Society for Financial Awareness, does a lot of speaking engagements talking about that, financial awareness. So, Chris, let's talk a little bit. I know it's a big topic right now. The market take a big dive. People are worried. Their 401ks took a big drop. Housing is slowing down. Restaurants are, on a skeleton. They're on a banana peel right now. What is it that you see in the economy? What are you forecasting? What are your thoughts?
Well, okay. Thanks for asking. I'll put on my Bistradamus hat here. The market did go down 30% in 22 days, which was unprecedented. Never seen anything like that as far as that type of drop in such a short period of time. It did go back up, I think, like another 15, 20%. My opinion, I believe that once we get back to normal, and some states are starting to return now, Texas and Georgia, I think the markets, I think it's going to be like a Super Bowl. I think it's just going to go right back up. That's what I believe. It may take a while for some industries to get going again, but that's what I believe. I think real estate's going to keep chugging along as well. I think you're going to see that to continue to go up because people are seeing that, home ownership is a great asset class to have because you didn't see real estate drop 30% in 22 days. If anything, it probably went up. So that's what I think.
A lot of great information there. So if you had your crystal ball out right now, and you had cash, thinking the stock market is a better place, real estate market, precious metals, what do you, and I don't want you to get too granular. I know that we don't give guidance here, but what I want to do is just, if I want to call my financial advisor, do I want to call my realtor? Do I want to call my precious metals person? Or
if I really do believe that I would just look at companies that went down 30% during COVID-19 or even farther, that are good companies, and I'd be investing in those. I don't think real estate really dropped a lot, so I don't know if there's a huge value there. I think gold already is kind of high, but that's where I see the opportunity. Is there's companies out there that dropped a lot. Now again, they've gone back up, and there's a lot of people made a lot of money during those that 30% drop. But there's still some value companies out there that have not, gotten back to the same levels.
So one of the things that I talk about on a broadcast, especially, and obviously we haven't been able to talk about it, to this extreme, but you look at a great company, and if you thought that company, I'll throw one out there, and I'm not promoting the company. I want to use this as an educational opportunity, Chris. Disney was at like $140, $145 a share. And I think now it's at $101 a share.
Yeah, that to me just sounds like a huge opportunity. I mean,
right. So if you look at a company that anything that is dropped, I'm not just going to use a round number because I don't have a calculator, probably 25 to 30%. If I have an opportunity to get, if I have an opportunity to go and buy the new car that I want, and I can buy it at a 25% discount, if I can buy the new company, Disney, that I want, if I can buy it at a discount, if I thought it was good at 140, wouldn't I think it's better at 101?
Yeah, and if you look at Disney, for example, their stock dropped because no one can go to Disneyland. No one can go to Disney World. Well, guess what? When this whole thing ends, people are like, we're going to Disneyland. So I think, again, I would think that that's going to just Super Bowl right back up. I mean, anything Disney touches seems to turn to gold. So I think that's a good example of the opportunities that are out there. The problem is Americans are so stressed on how to pay their bills or what the heck's going to happen, and the fear that's being promulgated through the media that they're not thinking about buying investments. That's kind of your upper echelon investors are the ones that are it's kind of the super rich got super richer during this whole process.
So one of the things that we can unpack from what you just said there kind of ties into the subject of our Your Credit Matters segment, right? If I've got money, I need to have a financial advisor who's out there saying, hey, you know something? We've got some cash on the sidelines. We always keep cash on the sidelines. And I just pulled it up on my handy dandy phone here. Disney, and again, I'm not pushing Disney stock. I'm using this as an example. Disney in the last 6 months had a high of 153.41. And right now it's trading at 102.05.
Yeah, down almost 50%. And again, as an example, like you said, when you look at blue chip companies like a Disney, I mean, they're only going to go up over the long term.
Right. Well-run companies that you want to have in your portfolios. Financial advisors are watching that for you. I'm going to throw another one out there again, not pushing it. Take a look at Boeing. Right. It was at over 300. Now it's I think around 120 or something like that. Right. And they just came out and said, we don't need money they were able to get money from other sources. Right. So actually, I think the 5-year high for Boeing, 446, and now it's at 128. They've got a lot of issues. Yeah. Right. And I'm not saying that it's the right time.
It sounds almost a little bit kind of like when Detroit, Ford, and GM were all down to like really low. And
right.
And for people saying, hey, do you think we should be buying this? And it's like, I would think when a stock is like the lowest it's ever been, and it's a good company. Yes, I think there's opportunity. So I'm not as familiar with the whole Boeing thing, just for the fact that there's something with planes and some issues with crashes. But again, I would think that, yes, that sounds like another opportunity as well.
Right. And that, again, the idea there, call your financial advisor, let them do their research on it. It may already be in your portfolio. You may not even know it if your financial advisor has. I used to know the term, but if they have the authority to make do transactions. Say that again, Chris.
Discretionary.
Right. Yeah. If they have discretionary authority, they can go out there and make those transactions. Boeing, again, I'm not pushing the company, but the thought, if a blue chip company, one of the best in the world, is selling at a 75% discount over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I don't know. You make that assumption.
And to your point, Ron, you may own it already. So if you look at your 401k and you look at one of the mutual funds in there, blue chip, there could be 300 different companies in that one mutual fund. So you probably do own a little piece of Boeing if you have any mutual funds or exchange traded funds.
Great advice. Appreciate you sharing with us, Chris, and I appreciate everyone checking in with us. If you want to meet Chris, you want to get Chris to come in and do a presentation for you. He's doing speaking all over the Southland. Give me a call. I'll put you in touch with Chris. Be sure to set your first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.